Welcome back to the Soul Calibur V playthrough, and we are going to be playing as Pyrrha again. This is the part in which stuff goes foobar.
Go back to Ezio.
I wish. I'm actually somewhat slightly decent with Ezio. The thing about story mode for me is that I look kind of clumsy when I'm playing it, but that's mostly because none of the characters I play ever appear in story mode ever. Not in a playable sense, anyway. The character I'm most accustomed to playing is the ninja girl. I always forget her name, but she's the Taki substitute, and she's my main, and she only appears in story mode for like 1/3 of a story battle later on, and you don't get to play as her. You just fight her.
So, does she have a nickname like Notki?
I don't know. Not sure, actually.
Nice.
That's kind of odd, though. Like, most of the time, a story mode in a fighting game is really just sort of there, so you can get used to the to all the different characters at least a little bit. Like, say what you will about Subspace Emissary as a story mode, but at least you played or had the option to play most of the characters on the roster and get a general idea of how they worked before you got into like actual fights against people. Like that's generally what a story mode in a fighting game is supposed to be there for, though.
Yeah.
So I guess you can be a little bit more. You can kind of write a better narrative if you only focus on a handful of characters, but from what I can tell, this isn't a grade A narrative to begin with.
I think that's what they expected you to do because that's what training mode is for. If you really want to go out of your way to practice with a character you have an attraction for.
I guess, but I've never really liked the training mode in fighting games because, like,
how many fighting games have you played?
Smash and Ultimate Marvel, but like I usually use the training mode to practice just like what the combos do. Like actually fighting against someone and messing around with the training mode are two very different things most of the time.
Well, here's the thing. Most fighting games these days have very involved training modes where you can set up, like, the ideal training bot, but even the ideal training bot is nothing like fighting a human. And in any case, I personally don't really have the attention span to sit there for hours doing something that doesn't have a set goal in mind. You know, if I want to get used to a character, I'm probably going to spend about 10 minutes in training mode getting used to how they control, and then just go through arcade mode over and over, rather than sitting in training mode forever. Simply because I like the feeling of winning, like actually accomplishing a thing.
There's only one thing that I do in training mode is that I use training mode specifically to practice a very long chain or a combo, and then I use the matches against like human opponents to look for the openings to do that, because you're not gonna learn that sort of nuance against an AI opponent. It's just not the same.
Well, let me just point out one obvious difference if you ever watch tournament footage of a 3D fighter versus playing against an AI opponent in a 3D fighter. Okay, human players twitch around a lot, like. I've seen matches where there were like whole 30-second chunks of footage where the players are just sort of sidestepping around, like
dodge roll. Can somebody please attack?
Not even dodge roll. Just like backstepping, forward stepping, sidestepping, and just doing that over and over in rapid succession, waiting for the other guy to make the first move. And
Mind games.
Yeah, and then there'll be a volley of like 2 or 3 hits, and then they're back to the sidestepping game again.
Fucking 4 glory matches. Can somebody please stop dodge rolling and like actually do something?
It feels a little less obnoxious in Dead or Alive, mostly because I guess it's easier to counter enemies when they attack, so you're not as terrified of leaving yourself open.
So is the scary sword with the eye Soul Edge?
Yeah, yes it is. For some reason in this game, Nightmare has backpedaled to his Soul Calibur 2 design rather than his Soul Calibur 4 design. He's also not the same person, I think.
So, Soul Calibur V I know we're 5 parts in, and I'm just asking this now, but I've done a bit of research between part 4 and part 5, but there was like a major time skip between 4 and 5.
Yes, yeah, there's a major time skip. A lot of the characters aged. And you'd think...
In quotes.
You'd think Namco would have learned their lesson after Tekken 2, but no, they're doing this again. So yeah, a lot of members of the roster were either dropped or replaced. Replaced mostly in the case of female characters because we can't have middle-aged women in a video game.
Ivy's looking pretty good.
Ivy is immortal. I went over this before.
Oh god damn it! I guess they could write around that if they wanted to.
Ivy is immortal. Nina was put in suspended animation. On the other hand, Jun Kazuma is dead, and Michelle is an old mother now, so she doesn't get to do anything anymore. I guess.
Yeah, I'll put her as an extra character for DLC.
Oh, look, an actual cutscene. There are very, very few of these. They look really good when they happen, though.
So a puppet controlled by a fool intends to stop me?
Looks like it's angry time.
Pyrrha angry.
Stop killing me.
Pyrrha smash. Oh god,
Pretty-
she actually did Hulk out. I was joking.
Anyway, this is Pyrrha Omega, who counts as a completely different entry on the character roster. And in Pyrrha Omega's case, it's really just a more aggressive style in the Sword and Shield family. So she's not all that different from her original self, but she does have some faster, fiercer attacks, and her throws are completely different.
Would you say
But
she's
now,
getting...
but now instead of saying I can't, it's now I can, right?
So is she just better, or is there a plus to playing the original Pyrrha?
Well, she's better, and by better, I mean they dialed down Nightmare's AI ranking for this one fight.
Yeah, now she has a bit of a slouch, because she's evil in this form, I suppose. And
Nah, she's crouched down low and ready to fight rather than being pulled back with her shield up, all defensive and reluctant.
a little too much on the opposite end, though. That's why I classified it as a slouch.
Yeah.
It's like she's tired.
Well, it's that kind of battle stance where you duck down and hold your shield up in front of you, but you got your sword ready to swing out behind it as soon as you block something.
She still can't. For God's sake, I just heard the line. It's the same recycled voice clips.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
They have some weird voice crap going on with her, though, like...
Yeah, well, she's demon-possessed. She's malfested, so they've obviously added some distortion there. Because that's what happens when you get possessed.
Or she's a robot.
Yeah, neck-snapping assassin moves. She just magically knows that now that she's evil.
So she's just straight up evil now, I guess.
No, she's not. She's really angry and confused, and she kind of popped a demon arm out, so... Basically, what's happened is that she's turned into a version of Nightmare herself. That's why she has a similar arm.
Was Nightmare expecting to erupt in flames like that? Because
It was a teleportation thing.
okay. It's like, is that all? Oh shit! I died.
We're going to fight Nightmare again later, and he's an asshole in that fight, by the way.
So he just decides to leave because reasons.
Yeah. It's like
he's being a dick. Oh.
Well, his sister's sort of, dark and flaming with glowing red eyes.
You got red on you.
Please, just let me think.
I think that's actually kind of a sensible request.
You're not letting me think.
Yep, he's being a dick. Okay.
Family. Right, Patroklos?
Could you have possibly made that sound any more creepy?
We are a family. But why is this happening to our family?
And then he runs off. Obviously, this is not going to bode well for Pyrrha's, psychological state.
Oh, poor Pyrrha.
Were you just hovering in the background the entire time?
Blood means nothing to
Okay,
me.
now's the time to strike.
Try to
Arrgh.
understand the real you.
So do they make up and become a big happy family, or no?
That's slightly complicated and would have been an interesting plot point if they had actually executed it well. But you'll see.
Okay.
For now, we need to follow Patroklos on his journey of self-discovery. And by journey of self-discovery, I mean Z.W.E.I is going to kick his ass, say a few fancy words, and we're going to get a new version of Patroklos to play as.
Joy.
You know, I've never really liked when games try to pass off the same character twice as a different playable character.
Well, in the case of Alpha Patroklos, it's actually not. It's actually a fighting style that belonged to a different character in the previous games. But Setsuna, unfortunately, is a female, and therefore has aged, so she obviously can't be in this game anymore. I kind of preferred Setsuna, but mostly because her sword was part of an umbrella, and that had a weird visual effect that kind of reminds me of Lady Snowblood. So I kind of liked playing as her in 4. I don't really get the same kick out of playing as Alpha Patroklos, even if I make a custom character with him.
This isn't my room.
Anyway, this is not Sophidia, disguised as Sophidia.
What? I'm confused.
It's his mom.
Oh.
There is no
Or rather, something pretending to be his mom.
I will guide you.
And believe it or not, this is actually more conservative than Sophidia's costume from 4.
I thought they were going for a subtle nod to the Valkyrie outfit that Cassandra had in Soul Calibur 2. A nod to the Legend of Valkyrie.
Resurrecting it is the only
Well,
way.
Sophidia had an outfit kind of like this, minus, I think, the head wings in 4, but it was like a massive... But it had this, like, massive cleavage thing going on, too. So... There is a Valkyrie armor, but I think it's a DLC.
What do you want? I have nothing to say. If you wish to stay here, then vow that you will fight against Nightmare, even if it means killing your sister.
No!
So you're unwilling to make
Yeah. Obviously.
that was wrong about
Do you have a sister, douchebag?
You can't fulfill the obligation as Soul Calibur's wielder in your present state. You must hand it over to someone.
Oh,
who's
so
much
you can
more
just
worthy.
sort of, you know, ask the sword to pick someone else, can you?
And who would be more worthy than me?
He's not feeling it today, SC.
Ty? There's no way you can wield this. Right now, I'm more suited than you. I won't let you have it.
I like how he turns his back on Siegfried to defend himself against Z.W.E.I, and just expects Siegfried to sit there and do nothing. And Siegfried does sit there and do nothing. Obviously,
So
it's
it
a
was a sound assumption.
So
Obviously,
we can't
it's a
have a
fighting-
2-on-1 fight. Jeez. What do you
yeah. Obviously, it's a fighting game, so any enemies that come at you have to be coming from the front.
think? Didn't we already fight this guy?
We're playing as Z.W.E.I, actually, in this case.
Oh, we are.
Oh shit! Have we gone under what Z.W.E.I does? I mean,
He uses
I know we talked about Patroklos, but
He uses a sword like a tonfa, and he has this frickin' persona stand thing.
The battle rages on.
And I don't really like playing as him because he's a bit awkward. I mean, he
What
can
is-
do he can do
does
some.
he have like a
interesting stuff.
familiar?
Yeah, it's a werewolf. Apparently, being a werewolf in Soul Calibur universe means having a persona that is a metal wolf. Yeah. I don't really know how this works, and they never explain. You know, for a new character in this game, they don't really do much to explain who he is or what he's doing here. The only thing you ever find out about Z.W.E.I is that he has some grudge against Nightmare.
Maybe he is the manifestation of the essence of some sort of part of Nightmare's finger? Am I reaching?
Yeah, you're reaching.
Is it better than what they offer, or worse?
Man, that was painfully easy.
I love that. You just kind of like booped him off the edge. That was hilarious.
You'll never win.
Stuff like that is why it's worth leaving replays in the playthrough.
Yeah, it's just like one step away from just being a simple blow.
Is that it? Weren't you going to honor your mother's last wish? Didn't you promise your sister that you'd protect her?
How do you know this stuff? Also, why are you changing your tune now? Weren't you saying that Patroklos needed to kill his sister a few seconds ago?
I don't know what you're going through. That's
Wait, how does he know about that
I'm
encounter?
not you.
I'm kind of... Well, I'm confused, because the
Wait,
direction...
did he dress up as the mother?
Would she have killed your sister because she's
No.
interested?
Now, for some reasons, Z.W.E.I seems to know things about Patroklos, but it's never explained how he knows these things, or if he knew Patroklos earlier in life or something. No.
Family or yourself. You can't protect
Man.
So is he just gonna forget about the fact that he killed probably hundreds of innocent people? Or is he done angsting about that?
No. They're ring outs, Ted. Ring outs.
You see, he's had an epiphany, and his persona has transfigured into a different kind of sword, I guess.
By the oil of my chest, you can make a difference.
Another's cause?
Now, what happens now is that Patroklos, the Greek man, has an epiphany and realizes that he should start fighting with the fighting style he used to use before he used his mother's sword style, which is Bato Jutsu, I guess.
Why is he holding the sword like that? That's how you
It's
cut
in a
yourself.
sheath. It's in a sheath.
Oh.
That's Setsuna's style. It's a draw cut style. I have no idea why this is his style, though, because he's a Greek blonde guy with blue eyes who obviously doesn't really have, very easy access to teachers who might teach him very distinctly Asian sword styles. I don't even know.
It simply has a taste of culture, nothing more.